Hey guys, it's Stu White here. Welcome to your ProBalance Band's advanced workout. This is one step above intermediate and one step below expert. Let's go. This is going to be a total body workout, working every single major muscle group from mid-back to hamstrings to glutes to core. All right guys, first exercise is a crawler with bands. So we've got our 3 loop bands we're going to use here. You can choose whichever one you want. I'm going to choose probably the medium one for this. So this exercise is designed to turn on your core muscles and mid-back muscles, and particularly give you some balance in your pelvis and thoracic spine. So we wrap the loop band around our wrist, fingers spread, hands under shoulders. Now you want a straight line from, you can make sure your toes are pointed first of all actually. You want a straight line from your tailbone to the back of your head, okay? Breathe into your abdominal wall, and on breath out, slide one knee, keeping your pelvis stable. And move this hand like it's on a train track, so we don't want it to slide across. We want to move the hand down the train track. Re-stabilize first, slide the knee back, breathe. Stable pelvis, slide the knee, stay on the train tracks, reset, reset, okay? So we've got 30 seconds, here we go. Breathe in through the nose. Breathe out. You can sort of start breathing naturally, so you got this breathing cadence. Make sure your hand stabilizes before you move that knee back. Toes pointed, pelvis stable, other side. Slide that handle on the ground. Don't forget to breathe. In through the nose, abdominal wall. In through the nose. This one. This exercise is called a high set hip lift, okay? So we're gonna do the advanced version of it, which is we take our top leg off the ground. So what we're looking to do here to set up is just basically start with ankles crossed, fingers spread, and so your hand kind of comes straight out from your shoulder, okay? Now the common mistake people make is they shorten this trap, and essentially what's happening here is these obliques and these mid-back muscles on this side are not activated. So what we want is a long neck. Now my mid-back muscles and obliques are on together. All right, nice long neck, head up over your chest as best you can figure out. And then this knee sort of comes out 45. So there's this right angle here, that's halfway along, okay? Good posture, we lift up through the knee, and this foot stays off the ground. So the intermediate beginner version, you can do it this way. The advanced version, you just keep that foot off the ground. All right, so about 30 seconds. Per side. Breathe, off we go. Breathe out, we're trying to keep this femur and this humerus bone, so your upper arm and thigh bone, matching the whole time. So we don't want those to disconnect. We're trying to keep this trap long as well. So we're loading the glute on this side. Breathe in through the nose. Out through the mouth. Hip goes back. Hip goes forward, hip goes back. Switch sides, 30 seconds on the left. 3, 2, 1, go. Hip goes forward, breathe in through the nose, hip goes back. Breathe out through the mouth, hip goes forward. In through the nose, hip goes back. Remember to breathe the whole way through. Loading this glute on this side particularly, and then these obliques as well. And you'll feel these mid-back stabilizers. Again, this is an advanced level workout. So the difficulty is as advertised. Okay. All right guys, this exercise is called a grappler. So this is an exercise you often see conditioning programs for different types of martial arts, but it can be used across the board for other sports as well. So we're gonna be in bear. And this exercise works basically everything from mid-back to core to internal rotators, external rotators of the hip, adductors, glutes, okay? So we just turn this toe a little bit out and we sit that hip to the ground. So this foot ends up flat, that leg ends up straight. So you have to have decent length in your hamstrings and decent hip mobility to do this. Again, it's in an advanced workout, so that's what you expect. So see how this knee and this elbow line up? Turn, see now I'm on my toe. back to bare position here. Other side, load the toe out a little bit. So I just turn my toe out a little bit to give myself room to sit through. Now my heel's on the ground, straight leg. Okay, so I'm gonna do 30 seconds total. 3, 2, 1, go. Breathing. In through the nose, back to bare. So make sure we don't lift our butt up too high. So if you lift your butt up too high, what you're gonna do is you're gonna relieve the requirements of the core muscles. And so people do that because their core's been heavily challenged. So what we want to do is we want to make sure we return to a nice low position with a nice flat spine parallel with the ground, so that our core muscles are getting the full challenge that we're looking for to support this movement. Hi guys, this is a crab reach. So it's designed to do a lot of things. It turns on your glutes, hamstrings, turns on your mid-back stabilizers. It also gives you length in the biceps, front delts and pecs, as well as the hip flexors. So kind of takes care of a pretty common mobility issue with people, which is tight anterior chest, shoulder, bicep, and tight hip flexors, whilst turning on their opposing counterparts. So what it looks like is you want your, I like to do it with my fingers pointing this way, but you can do it this way too if you wish. And they both have slightly different benefits. So you want a right angle in your knee here. And I'm gonna turn my fingers this way, but feel free to turn your hands this way as well. And we just lift our hips up, squeeze our glutes. And then from here, we just slowly reach up. Breathe, squeeze the glutes, slowly reach up. All right, so we're gonna do 30 seconds total. 3, 2, 1, here we go. So squeeze your glutes, mid-back muscles on, and try and find a nice even stretch in each shoulder. So my right's a bit tighter than my left. We're gonna try and solve that through this 30 seconds here. Breathe, hips up, reach. Breathe, hips up, reach. In through the nose, squeeze your hips up, reach. Breathe. Breathe. All right guys, this exercise is called a dancing bear. So we start in bear position and we're gonna, nice and stable, knees just off the ground. So again, don't lift your bum up to relieve your core muscles. You're gonna turn onto one hand and bring this leg behind you and sit. So it's kind of like the bear to sit out we did before, but in reverse. And it has aspects of that crab reach we just did also, right? So we're kind of, there's some familiarity here because we've done 2 exercises that have some similarities to this. And so again, it's designed to open up the hips, turn on the glutes, mid-back, and again, it gets a nice mobilization of the biceps, front delts, and pecs and all that. So when we go from here, it requires some mobility here and in the hip flexors. With straight leg, we drive that hip up. So it requires mobility of the hip flex and adductors here. Turn back to bear, knees down. So I throw this leg behind me, plant the heel, foot here, okay, foot straight. All right guys, we've got 30 seconds. 3, 2, 1, here we go. Sit out, hips up, and back to bear. Turn it over, hips up, and back to bear. Breathe. Feel your bicep stretch, front delt, hips up, back to bear. Hips up, back to bear. All right guys, so we're gonna need our 2 Pro Balance bands, long bands, your heavy and your light. You can, as always, you can start with the light if you want until you gain proficiency and then move up to the heavy, but I'm gonna start with the heavy. And this is called a step through, and we're gonna use a back load. So a step through, what that means is, it's like an apparatus-less step up, I guess. So back foot flat, load the heel here, lean forward and step. Okay, so we're always landing that back foot flat, all right? So we're gonna lean forward a little bit, load the hamstrings, glutes, and obviously quads, and we step through. What we're gonna do is we're gonna add a backpack loading. So we loop that under the front of the foot, big toe knuckle. And if we go under the big toe knuckle, we're gonna get more hamstring activation. And if we go under the heel, we're gonna get more glute activation, so you can choose. I'm gonna go for more hamstring activation, so I'm gonna go on the big toe knuckle here. And then we just put it over our shoulders. And then step through. Okay, so we're gonna go for 30 seconds, here we go. In through the nose here. Out through the mouth. In through the nose. 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 You're really pushing down through that, through the band, through your big toe knuckle there. And that's gonna give you that hamstring activation. So we're gonna switch, pretty easy switch, just step inside. Big toe knuckle, the other foot. Keep your same loading, here we go, 30 seconds. Just wanna lean forward slightly, load that front leg. And this back leg is just for balance. So it's allowing me to use my glutes, hamstrings, quads to lower myself down on one leg. The beauty of using resistance bands for exercise like this is that as I get mechanically weaker or mechanically disadvantaged, the bands get lighter. As I get more mechanically advantaged, the bands get heavier. So up here, heavier, down here, lighter. So this is a bent over row with our ProBalance long bands. As always, you can choose between the heavy, the light. This is an advanced workout, so most of you are probably gonna be on the heavy. In my case, I'm gonna use both. I need to get a bit more loading, obviously, for my body size. So pretty simple, we stick them both under the toes. In fact, I'll show you from side on. Put them both under the toes. Nice straight spine, chin level. Row and pause, 3, 2, 1. In through the nose, breathe out. 3, 2, 1. So this works the mid-back muscles, and then there's a lot of stability required from the hamstring and lower back muscles as well. Okay, we're gonna go for 30 seconds here. 3, 2, 1, begin. Breathing through the nose. Pause, 3, 2, 1. In through the nose. 3, 2, 1. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. 3, 2, 1. In through the nose. Keep your chin neutral. We're gonna make sure we keep our back straight, okay? So we don't want any rounded spine. Nice flat back, hips out. Pause the bottom, nice straight spine. All right, guys, so this is the last exercise. So I'm pretty cooked, so it's okay if you guys are too. These exercises are very difficult. This is obviously an advanced level workout. So you've done well. Last one, we're almost there. We've got your 3 ProBalance loop bands. Again, you can start as low or as high as you want. Makes sense if you're not sure to start low and work your way up until you gain proficiency of the movement. I'm gonna start with the heavy. So these are called skaters or skate jumps. So sometimes we do some static movements with these bands to turn on our glutes, load our hamstrings, quads, all that. We're gonna make this a little bit more dynamic and power orientated. So we're gonna jump like a skate. Okay, so we go from side to side, do 30 seconds. 3, 2, 1, here we go. And just work through it nice and slowly. Gain balance. Don't rush it. This is gonna burn the hell out of your legs here, guys. I'm just trying to land and maintain stability on the landing. Create power laterally. You're gonna feel your glutes starting to burn about here. At least mine are. Breathe through it, just like a skating action. All right, guys, I'm cooked. Hopefully you are too. That was some very high level content that we just delivered to you. Worked a lot of different muscle groups, unique movement ideas. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.